Darren Ravel tweets the following. Is BYU trolling us? And he tweets out a picture of this guy. His name is Mordecai Langai. Mordecai Langai has a picture of him and all. His upper lip's got a little bit of a Elvis thing going on. From Liahona High School in Liahona, Tonga. Darren Ravel tweets out, is BYU trolling us? No video or pictures of him playing on the internet. 4 total photos on Facebook. Bret Bielema joins us now on the Little Caesars Hot and Ready hotline. I'm just going to start there, Brett. Awkward transition. Zach McCrite here, and thank you for doing this. Have you ever heard of a high Division I school recruiting and signing a guy that has no videos of him playing on the internet these days and only 4 total photos on Facebook?
I am not the most technologically savvy coach out there, but that would be a record for me, too.
Yes. Well, apparently BYU did it, but Darren Ravel tweeted something out about that. I thought that'd be interesting to get your take on that.
Well, maybe they saw him live.
Well, I guess so. How many of your recruits?
Well, he's from Tonga, apparently. So.
Oh, yeah, he's from Tonga.
I'd imagine that the Rivals doesn't have a Tonga site.
That's
There's probably not many NCAA checkers over there in Tonga, so I don't know what.
That's true too. That's true too.
Over there.
Brett, how does this day go for you? Can you I hate for you to give me like a schedule or a rundown of everything, but I kind of want one. Like on National Signing Day, like when do you get up? Do you have breakfast? How does this go? Do you sit by a fax machine, or does that even happen anymore? Do people just text it? Like, give me the whole day so far.
It's been a little bit of an evolution. I've been in it 10 years now as a head coach, and it has dramatically changed. I can remember just a couple of years ago, before the whole iPhones and picture phones and all that stuff was out there, and there was a huge winter blast that hit the Midwest, and we had kids that couldn't get to school. Some kids didn't have power, so they couldn't get to a fax machine, and it was just chaos. And I'll never forget this. We found a kid that was actually Nigerian parents that was in Chicago. They had a winter storm, so he had no power, no electricity. So he went out to his phone, his car, put in his car charger, charged his phone enough to take a picture of the NLI and send it to us, and we sent it into the Big Ten office, and they cleared it. And I think that was one of the first ever picture phones that was deemed valuable as the fax had been all the way to that point.
And when was that?
6 years ago. That was probably 5 or 6 years ago.
Wow.
The guy's name was James Adianju. So I remember that day vividly because we really have been relying on fax all the way to that point. But now it's still old school. We got a couple fax in here today, but a little bit of everything. We had some pictures come through. You really adapt. This was a different class. I really had no worries going into signing day. We had 24 guys that we felt were all in. We had one guy that fortunately we could make an offer to, but it was only because another guy backed out that we'd love to have, but it wasn't a deal breaker. So this one was a little bit easier. I woke up about 4:30, took the dogs out, got showered up, kissed my wife goodbye, and I tell her meet her tonight. We got a big signing day event tonight. That's always kind of a nice recap to the whole year.
Bret Bielema with us on the Little Caesars Hot and Ready hotline. Look, I want to preface this by saying I'm not calling any coaches liars here, okay? But every coach, and I hear that laugh, every coach says the same things, though, right, on National Signing Day. Love the guys we got, really happy with the class, lots of speed, lots of versatility, lots of playmaking abilities. I would like you, Brett, to give me some tips as a radio gas bag on how to decipher between a coach who actually means those things and a coach who deep down inside is probably not real happy about that class. He's just saying that.
I think it probably goes case-by-case scenario. I don't mean to speak for others, but, Grandma taught me a rule pretty easy. If you always tell the truth, you never have to remember what you said. I think my first year, I can honestly say, we got in here in December. We were able to recruit a class, but it wasn't where I needed to be. I was happy about the guys we got, but, you really don't comment about the ones you didn't get, and we signed short of our number there, but that allowed us a few more guys the next year. Year 2 was a lot better, but still had some disappointments in the end. Didn't get a few guys we wanted as we walked down those final days. But this one, I'm not a big hat day guy. I'm not into, put 5 out there and draw 1. We didn't have anybody in that scenario today just because, the guys that are picking hats on Saturday or on signing day, these are guys picking their nose on Saturdays. They're guys that maybe get a lot handed to them, and they don't have to go out and work for it. So we kind of go for the guys that go a little bit earlier who believe in what we're doing, want to be a part of building something great, and hopefully those things work out.
How happy did that quote from Coach just make you,
Made
Todd?
me very happy.
He hates the signing day stuff.
You gave me a new go-to line. Picking hats equals picking nose.
I can't stand it. It's and I remember there was a movement back when I was in the Big Ten. They were trying to make it mandatory to redshirt all freshmen because these coaches feel that they needed to recruit these kids in a certain way and then bring them in and de-recruit them for a year. And Coach Fry, I played for a great man. He always used to say, you always recruit your own problems. And I think we take a valid look at what type of person we're getting, what type of character they display, what kind of person they are on the internet, what kind of person they are at social media, and that stuff all comes through, and I think there's a big part of college football that needs to take a serious look at that.
I know this is a state-by-state thing, but for you being in Arkansas, how important is locking down all the best players, the best high school talent from the state of Arkansas?
It's critical. I think everybody, as you go across the country, kind of like you say, it's coach speak. I think every coach that's in a state, if he can't control his own, you're going to be fighting an uphill battle, and it's especially true here in Arkansas. We signed 10 kids that truly wanted to be all hog. It's amazing when you come into these towns and these people just it's a way of life. It's not just a fanfare. It's not just a little thing they had to get ready for on Saturdays. It truly is a way of life, and we were able to do that. Grabbed one out of Oklahoma, which is real near our border. Roland at Austin Cantrell, even though he's from Oklahoma, we've been kind of treating him as an in-state guy. He's really a valuable asset. Signed 4 from Texas and 5 from Florida. So we kind of built our 24-man class out of those 3 states. 10 in Arkansas, 4 in Texas, and 5 in Florida. And then we even got a guy from Denmark in this class. We went intercontinental this year. So we added a guy.
They play football in Denmark?
He was a foreign exchange student as a sophomore year in Ohio. Drew attention from everybody. He had offers. I know that first year he got offers from Michigan, Ohio State, Florida, Georgia, us, Florida State. Then his mom and dad came over and visited, narrowed it down to a couple 3, and then they picked us going out of his junior year. So very talented, 6'5", 305. Everybody in the country wanted him. A very, very, very talented player that we're excited. He's actually here on campus already.
Bret Bielema joins us on the Little Caesars Hot and Ready hotline. Would you be in favor of an early signing day?
I would if it's at the right time. I think that there's a lot of debate about it. I think it would allow some very, very critical dollars that are being spent on kids that are already committed. We had kids that committed to us a long time ago, but you go and see them every week because, you never know what your opponents are doing, and it drives up the cost of recruiting big time and causes a lot of headaches and maybe even causes some tension that doesn't need to be there. But I think that mid-year signing date in December, the 3rd week of December, makes a lot of sense. I personally would really be in favor of one in July or early August that allowed kids just to concentrate on their senior year. I think it would do 3 things. It would alleviate a lot of tension during the school year. It allow kids to focus on their grades and having a great senior class. It alleviate the question, if I get hurt, am I covered? Because, most of us that do it right cover everybody, but there's other people that don't. And then it eliminates the guys that are dropping people at the end. It's disheartening to see guys this last week that kids have been committed for 8-10 months, and all of a sudden their school drops them. And you have a very upset and a very volatile situation, as it should be. So could get rid of 3 ugly scenarios in our sport.
Coach, you guys have a power run game at Arkansas, and that's kind of always been your forte. You're a run-first guy, and something that I certainly appreciate. Had 2 running backs over 1,000 yards last year. For you, with that type of offense, when you see the spread offense kind of taking hold in the high school level, is it tough for you to go and recruit guys? I mean, there are some offensive linemen, Coach, that in high school don't even put their hand on the ground ever. Is it tough for you to find some guys with your system to recruit to?
Todd, it goes a little bit of both ways. Sometimes you have to do some projections. For instance, our quarterback this year, Ty Story, never taken a snap under center. So that's a big adjustment. But he adjusted. He had it down to second. He practiced with us 5 days before we left for the Texas Bowl. So he adjusted very quickly, but it also steers players our way. Offensive linemen, defensive linemen, tight ends, fullbacks, tailbacks, they want to be a part of a pro-style system because that's what the NFL is doing. And on the flip side of it, defensively, we run a pro-style defense that really caters to the kids that are in tune with that. We're not overly sexy. We're probably that girl standing in the back of the room at prom where everybody knew who she was, didn't know who she was before he came, but when she left, everybody's like, who the heck was that? We just kind of tend to build a little bit of sexiness as the year goes on.
Before we let you go, let me just ask you a question I like to ask guys like you, and thank you again for doing this. We're very grateful.
Absolutely.
If you were to write a book, what player or coach would get their own chapter?
What player or coach would get my own chapter? You mean on our own team?
Oh, it don't matter. It's your book.
It's my book. I can write it. I kind of always say that I stand on the shoulders of those who came before us, and I think there's so many great legends out, coaching legends right now. I'm at a school. Our Broyles did, or Frank Broyles did more for our program than anybody that we had been before here. And now he's here. He's legendary status. I think we got a chance to play in the Texas game, and you get a chance to be part of a history there where there was people that meant so much to the program. And Oklahoma, obviously, with you guys got the forefront there with two great coaches in state with what they've been doing. It's those coaches that hold on to that mystique, the tradition of our game, instead of all this new glitz and glamour. Those are the guys that probably need to be written about a little bit more.
He's got the Austin Cantrell kid he mentioned from Roland, and he said they're treating him like an in-state kid. That's perfect, Coach, because when people ask me in Oklahoma City, where's Roland, I tell them it's in Arkansas. Because it pretty much is.
It's right on the damn border, huh?
That's right.
Yeah, he's a special kid. He's a throwback, H-back, tight end, extremely tough, comes from great stock. Mom and Dad raised him right, great program, tough kid. I think he's going to come in here and play very, very early.
Well, good talking to you, Coach. We're very grateful, and good luck with you are the best coach who ever had a 2-6 season in the SEC. I mean, Todd, do you know this? They lost every game but one in the SEC by less than a possession, by one possession or less. All but one. He could have been
Way to twist the knife on Bret Bielema.
7-1. Oh, I'm sure there was. I'm sure there was a lot of sleepless nights there. I'm sure.
Absolutely. Well, the big thing I think when you go through life, as men, we learn more through adversity than you do through for success. And I really think our guys took a while to learn it. We lost a one-pointer to Alabama, and they're like, wait a minute, why are we doing this? Why don't we turn these into W's and then, turn it into a shutout of LSU, a shutout of Ole Miss, and kind of a stomping of Texas, So our guys are feeling it and hopefully going to move forward.
That felt good to say. Hey, one more. Did the win over Texas do anything for you recruiting-wise?
Huge. We actually got 3 commitments after our victory in Texas, so from the state of Texas. So that's big, and Jerry Jones, a former alumni here, who with Coach Broyles, as a player. So to carry that tradition, we know he's one of the biggest fans out there. So to get into Texas and do that, every year we play A&M in Cowboy Stadium. So there's a lot of recruiting ties that go to that state, and obviously proximity. That's got to be strong for us.
Grateful for your time, Coach. All the best.
I appreciate it very much. Woo Pig.
All right, man. That is Bret Bielema on the
little Woo Pig at the
end. That's right. Little Caesar's Hot and Ready hotline.